Hi everyone, welcome to Hedgehog Hollow. So today I have a really fun tutorial because we're playing with fire and I think that's kind of fun when you're crafting. I'm using some stencils from a company I met at Creativation called Burn Stencil, and they're a metal-based stencil, and the idea is, of course, you can use fire to burn onto your wood. This is a sample that I already made in my test day. I also love the smell of doing this. It's just one of those things I think smells great. So it's a really trending thing. There's all sorts of pens and things to do that, but I am not a good drawer or anything like that. So I love the idea that I can get stencils that work with this technique. So they do a variety. We're going to be using this Welcome Home on just a regular piece of wood. This is just a wood plaque I got at a big box store. I mean, you could just use any piece of wood. The smoother the wood, the better the effect you'll get. But you can play around with different techniques. They also do different shapes. I've got some here on the table. There's like a rooster and a pig and paw prints and those kinds of things. The small paw print is what I used on my little tree slice or tree cookie here. And then they do alphabets. And I just wanted to mention a little bit about the alphabets first of all. So let me just push this out so you can see them. So this is how the alphabets come, and they also come with this extra piece here. So all you do is you cover this up, so you can see I just got the letter X there, and I'm not going to burn into these other numbers. So it keeps your flame contained so you get the right letter. And you also have some spacing here, so you can line up your spaces as you go along. You line this up with the edge of the previous letter, and then you get nice even spacing. So if you have the smaller one, there's the same thing. You just take the little piece and you can put it over and have the individual letter. So that's how you do letters. And there's symbols. If you want to do hashtags or Instagram handles or any of those kinds of things, you could do math equations, you know, all those kinds of fun things. Everything is available in a stencil. And of course, they're heat resistant because they are metal. So I'm going to be showing you how to just make a really easy plaque. And I thought there's so many different things you could do. For instance, I'd love to do one, line these three animals up. So the pig, the rooster and the cow, and then burn those onto my piece, and then I could put vinyl or stencil, maybe the Welcome Home, because I could still put paint through this stencil over the top of it. So I just think there's lots of different things you can do. Plus there are lots and lots of customization options too. You can, you'll see in a minute, you can decide how much burn you want to put on there. Now I'm using a micro torch. This is the one that Burn Stencil recommends, and it's filled with butane. So just to cover off the safety things, please read the instructions. Use a well ventilated area, all those kinds of things. We have a big room here and there's windows and doors on the other side. So I have everything set up. I filled it and primed it and everything already. So I'm just going to start this off. And you have to keep the button in, or I can just press, I have to remember how I did this, that in. But all you're going to do then is just go over. Look how quickly this occurs. But you can see I can do a light burn or I can do a heavy burn. And so I'm just going to keep moving my torch so it doesn't stay anywhere too long. And I did find as I was doing that paw print, I kind of learned how I could get a lighter burn or a darker burn, just depending on what I really wanted. And I have to say, I did have a jug of water close by when I did that paw print, just in case something happened. So you can see, super easy. Look how quick this is. So you don't want to be using your regular stencils. Make sure you're using a burn stencil because these are heat proof and safe. And then you're going to want to let it cool down before you touch it. You know, metal conducts heat. It sounds a silly thing to have to mention, but please don't pick it up straight away. You will regret it. You will burn yourself badly. I actually have to the side, you're going to see in a minute, my heat resistant gloves. They're the gloves I use with my heat press. And then I'm just going to use my glass mat to cool my stencil down. So I'm just going in all of those nooks and crannies. I'm just holding this down. Greg did love this. He was watching me do my sample last weekend and he was like, that's so cool. And he did want to have a go at this. So it is just a really fun thing to do. There is a catch on here so you can have a constant flame. You can also adjust the size of your flame too. But this kind of just gives you an idea. You just want to check your angles, make sure you didn't miss anything. It just depends on how the flame hits it. Just checking over it. Okay, So I'm going to call that done. I mean, if I was doing this, I might go over it a couple of times. But you see here I did a darker burn, here I did a lighter burn. So you really can kind of vary it, just depending what you want. You could probably, with some practice, get some really nice fades going into it. But I wanted to show you the finished article. I'm now, once this had all kind of cooled down, I'll probably rub some wax into it, maybe a Mod Podge over the top, just to give it a nice finish. But as I say, don't touch this without your gloves. So you can see where I've done the darker burn, I've actually gone outside the stencil a bit. Where I've done that more even burn, you can see you get that effect. So you can do different effects, whether you want it very neat, whether you want it to be kind of more hazy and fun. You can really kind of customize it to different things. I say, what I will do afterwards when this is done is I will take some wax and I'm going to rub that in just to kind of give it a more like sealed finish. Also, you can waterproof it that way too, or you can put a varnish over the top or a wood stain. Lots of different options, but I love the effect of this. You can see I can already touch it. It's not, yeah, it doesn't burn or anything. So the hot thing is really your stencil. Love these burn stencils. I'm going to add some links below for you. Go check it out. As I mentioned, do follow all the safety instructions with the butane, but it's really, really good fun, and I think you will enjoy it too. So I hope you enjoyed playing with fire. Join me tomorrow because I have another fun tip, trick, or technique for you. I'm not going to tell you too much, but it is super fun. So come and join me tomorrow, and we'll make some more craft together. No more fire tomorrow, but something a little bit different. So I'll see you then. So ensure you've hit subscribe, rang the bell, and hit that join button, and I'll see you then. Bye.